So, this is a report about Summer Wells that came out about a month ago, and I actually covered it when it was released, and we had discussed it on one of my live podcasts on the Bullhorn Betty channel. I'm rereading this. As I follow this case, I always go back to articles, information, and I listen to them again or I reread them. And this is to help me find more information that may have been missed, the first time I read it, or the first time I heard it, the first time I saw it. So I always go back to different things that I've already read just to see if something else jumps out at me. And this is no different. I'm reading this and talking about, the Summer Wells case. We're going to be holding a prayer/candlelight vigil for Summer Wells on June 15th from 7 to 9:30 at the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department at 117 Justice Center Drive. And so I'm just here going through some updates, just revisiting some of the information that we've already previously talked about, and this is no different. There are several things that do jump back out at me, and I'm not sure if they were discussed when I did my live or not, but here's a couple of snippets of the things that are now jumping out of me. When the sheriff's office, primarily Detective Pruitt, is discussing the communication factor between him and Don and Candus. He states here that the tone is quite the change from what happened last year or the beginning parts of the investigation into Summer Wells' disappearance in June. He recalled it being pretty good, and they showed up every day to make sure that the parents were okay. But now that's changed. And we're going to touch on that just in a little bit. So when we get down here, it said, well, Mr. Wells, this is something that we didn't cover. The investigators actually talked to Don Wells since he has been in jail, letting him know when he first came into the institution that at any time he wants to talk, to let the staff know, and Mr. Pruitt, Detective Pruitt, will get down to him as quickly as he can. The lines of communication between, this is from Mr. Pruitt, Detective Pruitt rather, the lines of communication between me and the family have changed. But listen to this. But he states, but I hope they understand that they can come talk to me anytime they want to. So he's stating that the lines of communications have changed quite dramatically, that they have, shifted, so to speak. But he's leaving the door open, and I think he's letting the lines of communication are changing for a couple reasons. One is that they're now the primary persons of interest. I really believe that at the beginning of this case, they exhausted all efforts to, remove them from the suspect pool, so to speak. And that was unsuccessful because their stories changed despite whether they keep telling the public their story hasn't changed. We all have watched it change from the beginning of this process to where we are today. We also heard on March 1st, the sheriff come out and tell the public that not only have they stopped cooperating, but they've lawyered up. So again, this is not conduct, in my opinion, of people that are innocent. I know that everybody's trying to point the fingers that it might be this person, it might be that person, but no matter how many people we throw up into this as a possible suspect, so to speak, it will never explain why Don Wells and Candus Bly have consistently not looked for their daughter, have consistently played games, have consistently been rude and derogatory to many people that have tried to help, that have consistently tried to call cops on anybody and everybody that tries to help find their daughter. These are questions that no one can explain when it comes to Dawn Wells and Candus Bly. Thank you, and God bless.